Hey everybody, ronarray here, and I think bossing is a pretty fun way to farm currency. Usually when we say bossing, Ubers come to mind, but they have a wide range of flaws. For the most part, Uber bossing can be a huge gamble and the entry cost is very high, unless you can keep running and investing more, the payday may never come. You also need to have a very specific build with a huge single target damage to be efficient. But what if we will look at one boss that is much cheaper to try, way easier to kill, and can provide stable drops if you do everything right? In this video I want to explain why King of the Mist is absolute god, what exactly you will need to do to get from 16 to 20 divines per hour out of him, and share the main trick how to make it really profitable without relying on gambling. Such profit surprised me as well, that's why I did about 200 runs in different days to confirm it. Check the timestamps for detailed profitability calculation and the other questions, and let's go. So long story short, King in the Mist is a new boss that made a comeback in 3.25. Originally he was introduced in Affliction League and he has no Uber version, so the fight itself is pretty easy. To access the boss fight you will need to have a special map fragment called an Audience with the King. It has a chance to be offered as a reward in rituals and is a guaranteed reward if you come across Nameless ritual. You can also just buy the item, and you can even do that at Fastus currency exchange market to make it even faster. To confirm profitability in this test, I did 200 runs of King in the Mist in 2 separate days. Generally, I try to buy one entrance for about 110 chaoses on average, and buying 100 of the entrances took me about half an hour. In this video, I will calculate the profit normally and with buying time as well, since it's a bossing strategy. So why it is profitable? The King in the Mist drop in some unique item which you can loot and corrupt, but the main dish there is a Light of the Minion jewel. Based on some of the community tests, the drop rate of the jewel should be around 20%, and in my tests I received very similar results as well. The jewel has a variety of possible roles, and they can cost from 10 chaoses up to 30 divines approximately, so you can hit or miss it big. But the core idea is to make it really profitable, just to sell jewels without identifying them, because it will lead to a very stable price, around 4.5 divines per each, and will make the farm a reliable farming strategy instead of a very big gamble. Those jewels are a popular way to gamble in the current state of the game, so demand for them is pretty high. You can literally profit by selling shovels to people, because there always will be people who will like to roll them for profit or for just receiving the jewel for themselves. So let's count the profits and how I got from 16 to 20 divines per hour, which is very surprising result. Keep in mind that prices may change a little, but I'm sure that it will stay pretty profitable. For this test I did about 200 runs, and it took me something like 4 hours to complete, with every 100 runs being around 2 hours or a little less or more. I bought 200 entrances, around 110 each on average, which leads us up to 22,000 of chaoses, or 122 divines. In the process, I have received 46 unidentified jewels, 27 on the first 100 runs, which I consider a pretty lucky result to be honest, and 19 in the second 100 of runs, which I consider a little unlucky, but I think those results balance each other out. So here's all my drops that I received, 27 here and 19 in there. Let's check the actual price of unidentified jewels. So if we will just check Light of Minion, it will be around 4.5 divines as you can see, and there are some of them on the market. So since I have 46 unidentified jewels for that price, we have 207 divines in total. So I made about 85 divines in profit during those 200 runs, in about 4 hours of pure running time, which leads us to a 21 divine per hour. Or we can count one more hour that I spent buying those, and then it will be 17 divines per hour with the current prices, which is a very surprising result and a pretty cool farming strategy. Keep in mind that to receive something similar to that result, you will need a big sample size, since otherwise you can encounter unlucky or lucky lines. However, I think 17 divines per profit, even considering the buying time, is a very good number. And if you can buy it a little faster, you can go up to 20 divines on reaching even 21 divine per hour, which is completely amazing in my opinion. Also, people are buying all of those jewels in bulks for big gambas. So for example, here is me selling 36 of them for 158 divine, which is like 4.4 per each. It's a little less, but you can aim for bigger prices if you don't have a lot of jewels on your hands. But it's a pretty great example of a big bulk buy that you can pretty much expect, because that gamba is pretty popular. But what about the gamba? What if you really want to gamba? So out of 13 possibilities for Light of Minion to roll, 8 of them is bad, and you're going to lose money on them. One of them is pretty much the same, it's a physical damage and it costs about 4 divines, and 4 of them are good and they cost more than we can currently expect from just selling unidentified one. So lightning damage is 7 divines, chaos resistance currently 8, maximum mana is 10, and increased shield drops from like 36 to 32 and back and forth. So let's take those 13 jewels and just imagine if you roll all 13 possibilities once out of the 13 jewels. The result will lead us to 65 divines in total. 36 per energy shield, 10 per mana, 8 per chaos, 7 per lightning and physical per 4. Everything else we're losing money. But if we will just sell them all unidentified, we will get 58 divines without any risk at all. So gamba can be a little better, as you can see, if you are lucky, or if the prices for unidentified ones will fall. However, I think negating risk here and just selling unidentified ones could be a much better option, because the difference in price is not that big. You can obviously get lucky and hit energy shield like 4 or 5 times. However, there's also a chance that you will never hit energy shield, because chance is only 1 out of 13 and it's not that high. If your sample size is not that big, you might lose money doing it. That's why I usually recommend to just sell all the stones unidentified. So talking about the boss fight itself. Boss fight itself is pretty easy, but it will definitely have a second stage. You are unable to one-shot the boss and he will teleport you to a separate zone. In that separate zone, you will need to just follow the light, so come into touch with the light and pretty much follow where it goes. You will need to find an entrance to the arena, it's not that hard, and if you are lucky, you can give it very fast. However, there's one cool tip that I want to share that you can use if you feel like you can't find the arena, or you don't even want to bother with it. You can pretty much log out of the game right after the boss will teleport you, and just relog in, come back to your hideout and rejoin the teleport. It will teleport you back to the boss arena, so you will be able to fight the boss again just fine, without any issue. That way, it could be faster in some cases. However, when usually I go for like follow the lights against the logout, I think I prefer follow the lights, especially if it's fast enough at the start, because logout can be a little longer based on your PC. You will need to load into the town, and after that you will need to load into your hideout, and you will also need to load in the map itself. So that's at least 3 loading screens, and that's a lot, especially if your PC is not that fast. So you can pretty much check the timers for yourself, which option you will prefer, logout or follow the lights. Because most of the time I try to just follow the lights, and I did it on my streams and when I did 200 runs for that strategy. It is also important to look out for that corpse, perfect naval offshot. It's not really dropping that often, but it will cost about 1.2 divines, which is very nice, and people are buying it pretty often, so you can even fish for better prices at the moment. So talking about the strategy itself, I think prices could change and it will be a little less profitable if it will become more popular. However, prices for jewels are going to go up with time, I think, and the demand for them are pretty high. And I still think it will be very profitable. I've been completely surprised considering how much money you can make with a simple boss, and I think it's a pretty great strategy because it's very simple and it's pretty easy to do. So that's been my guide for farming strategy for King of the Mist, well, boss in, which can give you a pretty decent amount of currency. Thank you very much for watching as usual, feel free to subscribe for more RPG content, and see you next time. ronarray out.